Emilio, the honey badger, Urrutia!
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Honey Badger Hour. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Honey Badger Hour podcast. It's your boy, the Badger, and we are back. Good to be back in town. Great to be back in studio. We are back alone, shooting solo dolo, straight from the hip. Stay tuned, guys. We got some big guests coming up this week. But in the meantime, oh my God, the world is going crazy. Just again, just like Cat Williams said, 2024, everybody's getting called out. Oh Lordy, it's getting crazy. P. Diddy allegations. To be fair, guys, whenever I see one of these allegations or something like that going on, I'm just like, what is really happening? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know what the real issues are out there. Like, if they bursting out the P. Diddy allegations and all this stuff, I can only imagine, like, the real harm that's going on and, like, you know, maybe what's really going on in the world that they're trying to hide. You know what I'm saying? I mean, who knows what's going on the world affairs, the war, what happened with the war, and remember, with Palestine, everything just got real quiet. You know what I'm saying? What happened in Gaza? You know, like, so interesting how that kind of played out, right? Man. But UFC 300 just around the corner. You already know what it is. And we are looking at UFC 300 and what to be and looks what it is meant to be one of the most stacked cards of the year, guys. This card is stacked from bottom to top. Let me let you know. Let's just look into how stacked UFC 300 is, okay? Davidson Figueroa versus Cody Garbrandt, two former world champions, is opening up the card. The first fight of the night on UFC 300 is two former champions going at it. Davidson Figueroa, the former 125-pound flyweight world champion, is taking on Cody Garbrandt, the former bantamweight world champion. Yo, this card is stacked, guys. In our main card, okay, to start the evening, we got former UFC lightweight champion Charles Oliveira taking on the rising up-and-comer Arman Tsarukyan in what to be a crazy, crazy fight. All right, guys, Arman Tsarukyan, his first fight in the UFC was against Islam Makhachev. And not only was it a hard fight for Islam, it was a very close fight. He lost, but he lost by a razor close split decision. And it was such a good fight that Joe Rogan even made a post. I remember Joe Rogan even made a post a long time ago talking about what a high level fight that was. And that for sure we would see Arman Tsarukyan challenging for a title again in the near future. So that time looks like it's just around the corner. Arman Tsarukyan coming off a first round knockout over Beneil Dariush. Charles Oliveira also coming off a knockout over Beneil Dariush. So I'm excited to see this one. This is going to be a crazy lightweight fight. Will Charles Oliveira get his second chance at competing against Islam Makhachev? Or will there be a new contender in the 155-pound division? And if Arman Tsarukyan defeats Charles Oliveira, is that enough to challenge for the title? I don't think you can say anything else. You beat Charles Oliveira, there's only one route to the path next, and that is for the title. And then it only gets better from there, guys. In the second fight of the evening, we are getting right into the five minute rounds. Oh no. Chicka, rewind. In the second fight of the night, this is going to be a weird one, guys. This is like when you understand what they mean by like they're trying to put guys down our throat. Like they're really trying to shove athletes down our throat, because this next fight is one that I'm not too keen on. Not that I'm not too keen on this fight. I think it's great that it's on UFC 300, but man, why it's on the main card? We got Bo Nickal, undefeated 5-0. Okay, he's ran through all his UFC opponents, which I think is only two. One of them was on a short notice fight, like on a week notice, taking on Cody Brundage. I don't even know who this guy is. He's 10-5. So you got this thing in the middle of the stacked card, okay? But right after that fight, I'm expecting a quick finish by Bo Nickal. Maybe a fight to put him on the map and let him get the pipe train going behind him, okay? So that's a guy who's definitely going to be a future title contender. All right, let's see what happens. He's not really getting these big name opponents. Now, I can understand him being on the main card. I just don't know why he's fighting a guy that I've never seen fight before, right? But in our second after that, we got a big one. We got a big one. This is one that's really making me crazy, kind of. I'm feeling a little bit worried. For Max Holloway, we got Justin Gaethje taking on Max Holloway for the BMFL title. For the BMF title, Max Holloway, last time he tried to compete at 155 pounds, he went up in weight class to take on Dustin Poirier for the vacant lightweight title. He lost by decision in a crazy fight back and forth. He did have Poirier hurt, but he also did get hurt. And everybody talks about how, listen, I agree too. Max Holloway might have one of the best chins in MMA. However, that one time we did almost see him get stopped was when he competed against Dustin Poirier at 155 pounds. So this fight might be a little bit different because he's been training for it. He's been preparing his body, getting himself into physical condition to be competing at the lightweight weight class. So looking to see if maybe he packs a heavier punch. But I'm telling you right now, guys, this is going to be a crazy fight. If the Justin Gaethje, who showed up to fight Rafael Fiziev, shows up to fight Max Holloway, if you're going to fight Justin Gaethje on the feet, that's going to be a hard guy to beat. All right? Like his fight against Rafael Fiziev, guys, okay, was just crazy impressive to me. He showed all his skill culmination into one, all right? He showed his conditioning. He showed his fight IQ, all right? He showed his patience. He showed his footwork, all things that he's added on lately in the years and trying to become a UFC world champion. Whereas back in the day, he was a little bit more of a slugger. So Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway, I'm a little bit worried about because, you know, the one about freaks me out about this fight is I feel like Max Holloway, maybe he's trying to go up to 155 because he lost to the current featherweight king, Alex Volkanovski, 3 times in a row. And he was thinking there's no chance as long as Volkanovski's champion that he's going to compete for a title. But now with Ilia Topuria stepping into the picture, Max Holloway being younger than Alex Volkanovski, he can get right back into contention. But this is what I'm worried about. A dangerous fight against a dangerous guy like Justin Gaethje can set you back, okay? This is what I'm saying. We're going to see if these going up and down in weight classes is going to work against these fighters sometimes, all right? This happened a long time ago in boxing with Roy Jones Jr. He went up to heavyweight because he was killing everybody in his weight class. He got devastatingly knocked out in heavyweight. Tried to go back down to his weight class, which was like super middleweight or something. Tried to go back down to his weight class, and then he became chinny, and he started getting knocked out in all of his weights, which is something scary that can happen when you start going up against these bigger guys. The threat of knockout is always going to be higher as the weight classes go up. So Max Holloway, who's known for having the best chin in MMA, he's known for being the best at his division, the best at what he does. He's known for being really good at striker, and he's known for being able to take a tremendous shot. Now he's fighting a guy who's like one of the most devastating hitters in the lightweight division for his first fight back at lightweight. A little bit different hitter as Dustin Poirier. A little bit different hitter, a little bit different power range, just a whole little bit different style. So excited to see that one. We're going to reign and see who is the baddest motherfucker on the planet. Hence, that fight can be the road to a lightweight title shot. If Justin Gaethje defends his BMF title, I reckon he would go now and be the number one contender for... what happens... Alright, so if Justin Gaethje wins the BMF title, guys, what happens with the lightweight title? Does that give him number one? We got Justin Gaethje and Arman Tsarukyan fighting on the same night. If they both win by devastating finish, who do you think, guys, favors a title shot first? That's a tough one, right? Never thought about that. That lightweight division is stacked with killers upon killers. What's good, Islam Makhachev is calling out for Dustin Poirier next because Dustin Poirier just had a big fight against Benoit Saint Denis. All right. And he doesn't think that... The problem is he'll be ready a little bit after 300. He couldn't fight in 300 because of Ramadan. So big ups to Islam Makhachev for staying in by his beliefs, not selling out or giving up on his religion. He's like, his religion, his faith comes first. So he's able to... And he sacrificed a lot of money. It just goes to show that these guys are dangerous dudes, man, because there's no amount of money that's going to come in front of their beliefs and their system. So very, very interesting stuff there, guys. So Islam Makhachev is looking to pick a fight with Dustin Poirier next as the contenders brew in the lightweight division with Arman Tsarukyan going at it against a real killer in Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira still super young, which is crazy, all right, in the prime of his career. We want to see what Oliveira comes out. I'll tell you what, though, guys. The Oliveira that came out and fought Beneil Dariush is like to see. He did not make many changes. This is a guy who's not going to change the way he goes. He's going to fight the way he fights, and he's just going to fuck around and find out and see if he's got what it takes. He's not one to change his game plan or switch it up. Charles Oliveira, every fight, seems to do exactly what you expect him to do. Go forward and go at it and try to finish. So, in our main... Now, guys, we're just getting started. This card is stacked. Now we got, in our co-main event, we got Yan Xiongnan taking on Zhang Weili in a Chinese on Chinese championship title. I wonder why this fight was on. There must be some like CCP money. There must be some CCP money involved in the UFC, because this is a weird fight. This is one that hey, they didn't even attempt to do this in Miami, so that's kind of funny. They didn't put this fight in the Miami card. This is the only thing that's trumping the Miami card. That's making the Miami card a little bit stronger, is that you got this fight. This guys. I'm not gonna lie, guys. This has 5-minute rounds written all over it. These are two Chinese badass fighters in the prime of their career, in the top of their weight class. So, really excited for that one. I got Zhang Weili just because I haven't seen Yan fight too much. I actually have seen her knock out a few chicks pretty badly. So, excited for that one. Not gonna do no picks yet. But then we got the big dog in our main event. We got Alex Poatan Pereira taking on the UFC defending reigning lightweight champion Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill is coming into this fight cooler and calmer than the other side of the pillow. He is confident. He's feeling good. He's feeling like he has everything that it takes to take out Alex Pereira. He says he's going to knock him out. He says he has more tools. And he says he's going to do it in impressive fashion. Poatan doesn't speak much English, so we haven't heard much from him, guys. We haven't heard much about what's going on with Poatan. We don't really know. He is a great personality. So, UFC 300 stat card, guys. Stat card. Alex Poatan, the Pereira, is the light heavyweight champion right now. Oh, my bad. They're both... Oh, no. So, I said that wrong. Jamal Hill was the light heavyweight champion. He got stripped from his title. And then Alex Pereira fought for the vacant title. So, and then now, Alex Pereira is the light heavyweight champion. After losing his title to Israel Adesanya, goes up in weight class, defeats two big names to secure the title and be the 205-pound champion in just under 12 UFC fights. My man is 9-2 in MMA. He is the former middleweight champion and the current light heavyweight champion in the UFC. And he is also trying to go back up. He's also trying to go up to heavyweight and compete and win the heavyweight title. This is a man who is not afraid of nobody and feels that he can knock out anybody who steps into the cage with him. And ladies and gentlemen, Alex Pereira, he might not be wrong. So UFC 300, that's just the main card alone, guys, which is amazing, okay? Check out some of these prelim fights, which is kind of crazy. Let's check out a list of fights that are underneath on the undercard. That Bo Nickal. Let's see a couple of the fights that Bo Nickal jumped. Yuri Prochazka versus Alexander Rakic is on the prelims. Calvin Kattar versus a former champion, Aljamain Sterling, in his first fight at 145 pounds in the UFC is on the prelims, okay? You got another UFC former champion, you got another former UFC champion, Holly Holm, taking on Kayla Harrison, who's the former PFL champion, fighting on the undercard. That's a super underrated fight. Tough fight for Holly Holmes. I'm just saying on timing alone. But not an easy fight for Kayla Harrison, okay? Hey, welcome to the UFC. Here's former champion UFC, former champion and star Holly Holm. A little bit older, maybe not the same Holly Holm, but as we know and have we seen time and time again, the UFC jitters are real. When it's your first time competing in the UFC, you see people react differently. You see some fighters kind of sometimes want to say fold under pressure. The UFC jitters kick in. They don't have their best performance. And sometimes it does take athletes a while to get their feet wet in the UFC. And the UFC does also try to do their best to make it as hard as humanly possible for any former champions coming in. If you're a champion from another big league that was trying to compete with the UFC, they make it their life's duty to give you the hardest possible fight, to give you a proper welcoming gift to the UFC. So, excited for that one. Oh, another banger of a card. We got Sodiq Yusuff taking on Diego Lopez. This kid Diego Lopez is scrap. He's a real scrappy 145er. Sodiq Yusuff, this guy could easily be a champion one day. So, then we got Jalen Turner versus Renato Moicano. Renato Moicano, one of my favorite fighters, coming out now. I really hope he wins just to see a huge speech from him because he always has something great to say. However, Jalen Turner is going to be a tough fight for him. Jalen Turner, I want to say, knocked out Bobby Green. Let's see what Jalen Turner did actually, because I know he lost to Dan Hooker. Okay. So Jalen Turner had a tough fight with Matias Gamrot. I thought he won that fight, to be fair. Had a close fight with Dan Hooker. Ended up losing a decision, or absolute war, where he did hurt Dan Hooker a lot. So, hey, Jalen Turner's a guy that he can knock out and finish anybody in the division. You know, he just got a knockout over Bobby Green, who's also on the card, taking on Jim Miller. Check this out stat, guys. Jim Miller has fought on UFC 100, 200, and 300. The man is still out there slanging with the best of them. Comes out to one of my favorite. He comes out to Dark Moon Rising, one of my favorite walkouts in the UFC. Let's check out Jim Miller in time. 37-17. That is ridiculous. Okay, let's see how old Jim Miller is, because my dog is still out there. Jim Miller, 40 years old, fighting on UFC 300 in a very winnable fight against Bobby Green. However, Bobby Green might be a problem in this fight. This might be a match that is a little bit of a tough matchup for Jim Miller. So, excited to see how this one plays out, guys. UFC 300, stat card, all the way. Stay tuned for later on the week, all right? I'll be giving in my picks, all right? I'll do some predictions, and we'll do a little bit more in-depth breakdown. So, it's good to be back, guys. It's good to be back on the scene. The Honey Badger Hour podcast. We are in the new studio, live and in full effect. I hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode with CEO and owner of Boxer Gym. We had the big boss, Mateo Atala. We got a bunch of more great guests coming up for you guys, all right? We had the holidays just recently, so on Sunday, happy Easter to all my Christians out there, all my Catholics, whatever you believe. All I know is the harder things get and the crazier things get, I just know that Jesus is King. Anyways, guys, rambling on. It's good to be back from the new studio. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great day. Train hard. Stay tuned. We got a lot of big fans coming up our way, and we will have this thing coming soon. We are out.